this video, we're going to learn about adding legs and appendages onto our pots and rattles. So you can make anything, your rattle, into anything. I showed y'all pictures of my two cats, so I'm going to make a little kitty cat, and I'm just going to make some appendages to add to my rattle. So a couple of tips for adding appendages to your rattle. Anything that is like very thin, even once it dries and it can support itself, it's going to be extremely delicate. So nothing really thin. You always want to have a nice point of contact. So even if something in nature has like a tiny point of contact, like a leg to a body, when we make it in clay, we want to actually change that up a little bit, and we can sometimes fake it, but we want to make a thicker point of contact for this. So for example, here's my thicker point of contact. Here are my feet. And then I'm going to scratch and score and put these on. And I'm going to use my sponge. I'm just going to put the smallest little amount of water, just enough to get between those little Velcro spots that I made. And I'm going to, again, press it on, make sure it's Velcroed on there. Same with this one. Face. I'm gonna make some ears. Again, ears have a tiny point of contact, but I'm going to make it much fatter like that. Same with this one. Like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna put this all together. So I put it together and I realized that it looks a little more like a piggy than a kitty, and so I am going to make a couple of adjustments. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I will draw out my face. Okay, so it's still in kind of owl kitty territory, but I am okay with that. So now I'm going to scratch and score and put all of these pieces on. So I am pushing down a little, and that air trapped inside helps a lot. So my rattle is all done. I don't have any tiny appendages. Everything is a nice wide place of attachment. Now I can go back in and I can just smooth out any areas that need it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some legs to this pinch pot. I am going to make some legs using a chunk of clay. So I'm going to make 3 legs for this one. So I'm going to break this up into 3 pretty even chunks of clay. I'm going to roll those into a ball, and then I'm going to kind of roll them on the diagonal to get a kind of a carrot shape, like that. And then I'm just going to tap that on my hand so I get that nice flat place to attach. I'm going to do that one more time. Roll it into a ball, and then roll into the carrot shape. You can do this any way you want. You can also just kind of sculpt these, but this makes quick, nice little legs. So roll into that carrot shape. Now these I could probably attach right now, but if they were a bit longer, they might not be able to support themselves because this is soft clay that I'm working with. So I actually made some a little while ago, and I let them set up along with my pinch pot. I'm going to go ahead and put them on. So I'm going to decide where I want them. So something to keep in mind is I don't want them to be too close, because when this is sitting up, it's going to be easy to tip it over. So I want them to be spaced out a bit. Okay, then I'm going to mark where I put them on. Okay, and then I'm going to scratch and score both the pot and the leg. Okay, then I'm going to use just a little bit of water from my sponge, just enough to get some water in there. Okay, this is a situation where I like to wipe off my hands, because I find if my hands are wet, then the clay starts slipping around, and I really just want this point of attachment to slip around. So yeah, I'm gonna just do that little wiggle, make sure that Velcro is really attached. Again, the way to check that your pot is secure is just gently pull at it. Obviously, if I rip this off, it's gonna come off, but if I just gently pull and it's not going anywhere, then I know it was attached really well. If it just fell off, then it wouldn't stay no matter what, and so I definitely wanna redo the attachment. And again, if that happens, it might mean that you just didn't scratch and score enough. It might mean there was a little too much water, and then you could use a very dry sponge, or like sponge with no water, to pull a little of that moisture away and try again. So even though we need water to make sure our clay sticks, we don't want too much, because that can also cause problems. Isn't that always the way? Okay, so I'm gonna attach, again, just making sure it's really Velcroed on there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna do the last one. Okay, again, I'm gonna wet it with our water, just enough, not too much. Ooh, that was a little too much, you saw that? So you see it can get kind of muddy. I'm gonna wipe my hands and again, do my little attachment. Now, if you find that your pot gets a little squishy, you could wait a little longer and let it get a little harder before you put these legs on. You never want to go past leather hard though, so we can see it will stand now. If your pot was a lot bigger and your legs were smaller, you want to get them to about the same dryness before, or stiffness is another way to say that, before you attach them. That way they can equally hold each other. Now, I found that while my pot was sitting with its rim down, it did get a little thicker, so I'm just going to take another little pinch at it, and there we go, it's all done.